Well, howdy, folks, and welcome to Campfire Park, where the campfire is always crackling and visitors are always welcome. And today we have our mailbag. You see, we have a lot of questions streaming in from all over the internet, and people are even handwriting in letters to, and we gather around the campfire and we answer some of the mail. So let me grab this piece of mail, and it says, "Dear Cowboy, what is a campfire break?" Signed, Susie from Toledo. Well, thank you, Susie from Toledo. That's an excellent question. What is a campfire break? And that's the whole idea here at Campfire Park is, we decided we needed to reboot the campfire for modern times. We felt like the campfire was kind of becoming a lost tradition, but really critical to the human condition is people gathering around the campfire. Back in the old caveman days when everybody was throwing bones at each other, they kind of gather around the campfire at night, and something about that crackle, help people relax. And, it just kind of, when you're at the campfire, you can only really see a person's face, and you kind of forget everything else, and you can just really have this, you can communicate ideas. And, so here at Campfire Park, we're, starting to understand that, we're such a remote place, Campfire Park. We could have named it Daytime Park, but, really we emphasize the nighttime events. And during the day, there's plenty to see here at Campfire Park, that's for sure. I mean, there's an upside down waterfall. There's we're still trying to figure out where our boundaries are. We hired some surveyors and we sent them off, and we haven't heard back, although their trucks are still there, so I'm assuming they're not lost, but you never know. And, here at Campfire Park, there's the one part, besides the campfire, there's the Aurora Borealis that you can actually touch it, and we can sustainably harvest it, and we're putting it in as an ice cream flavor and some other, we're adding it to our s'mores and a lot of other, experimental things that are happening that you can only have at Campfire Park. And, but at the nighttime, we do like to gather around the campfire, and we realize that, it's hard for people to get out to Campfire Park. It's just a long drive. You have to go to the end of the interstate, and then, you take the Cloverleaf, and then you take the second left off the Cloverleaf, and you get to the dirt road, and you keep taking that for some time you drive. And once you think you've gone too far and you missed it, then you'll probably see it, but it takes another 5 or 10 minutes of driving, and then you veer off on that, and you'll see the sign. We haven't been out there enough to do trimming, so you got to look hard for the sign, that's for sure. And it's one of the things we're working on. It's on our list here at Campfire Park for a daytime activity. And then you go over a little bit of a hill, and then you go down into a valley, and there's a river there, but it's more of a stream, and you can cross it, and you'll have to cross it if you want to get to our traditional campfire. And there's a dam upstream that pretty much holds back most of the flow, so you're always going to be able to cross it. Your tires will get a little wet, that's for sure, but don't worry about that. The good news is we're decommissioning that dam, but that's still weeks away. And it depends. The contractor's been really good. They're ahead of schedule, but I would say not to worry. You'll be able to cross it for the time being. And then you go up a switchback, you're going to have to put your vehicle in first gear. And then there's that point where, you're kind of at the crest of the butte, and then you drop down, and that's where our campfire talk. You'll see us in the distance, way off in the distance. And from there, it's pretty straightforward, but it's a long drive. It's a very long drive, and we understand people have trouble. And then people get out, and our parking lot's not big enough. on the busy days, but mostly it's not a busy day. Mostly it's just, me at the campfire. And that's when it occurred to us that, we went to a boardroom. We're not to a boardroom. We had a retreat. We decided, let's have a retreat and let's figure out what do we have to do different at our campfires, to get more people there. And they broke us up into groups, and, we discussed what personality types we were, and, there are other sorts of stuff like that. And then it was all wrapping up, and we hadn't really discussed the issue at all that we were supposed to discuss. And that's when we kind of, start to figure out that maybe we, bring the campfire to you. And how do we do that? Well, how in the morning, the paper magically appears at on their driveways? Who brings that? The stork? Does it just magically combust? Or other animals bring it in? We're not sure. But we wanted to replicate that, and that's where we kind of developed a fleet of trucks and and a logging operation that would cut down trees and bring the campfire to you. Bring you the logs and the kindling and kind of a campfire kit. And that's what we determined we would do at the retreat, in the conference room in town. And it sounded really good. But then, later that night at the campfire, we were thinking about it, and it kind of occurred to me, well, if we get good participation and people subscribe, we'll cut down every tree in Campfire Park within just a few short years, maybe even a couple months, and that made us second guess our approach, because we want to keep those campfires going, but that would kind of, the forest that we have at Campfire Park is one of the main daytime draws, and in the nighttime the animals really enjoy that, and it just didn't seem that would be the right thing to do. So that around the campfire, that's when it occurred to us, hey, everybody has a phone and they're usually kind of wasting time on their phone. Maybe we could give them a quality campfire through their phone, and maybe and that's one of the paradoxes of Campfire Park is or an oxymoron. By oxymoron I mean like term jumbo shrimp. I never liked that term. Somebody would say to me, hey, you want a jumbo shrimp? No, I want a regular size shrimp. I mean, if I'm going to need a truck to haul around the shrimp or a flatbed, trailer, then no, I don't want that jumbo shrimp. I'd rather have many small shrimp. And but our oxymoron here is that bringing a campfire through the phone is we're trying to discourage people. We always tell them at the campfire, turn off your phone and let's just have a quality campfire experience. But here we're telling you to turn on your phone and get the campfire from the phone, and that is a little contradictory to but we're thinking that's the only way. Uber campfire, and that's where we're at on it. And we kind of we paid for the retreat. The retreat was really expensive in town, and we stayed at the best conference center in town, and it was we had guest speakers and a moderator and so on and so forth. So it was time well spent, and it was edifying to know what our personality types were. That was important to know. So there you have it. And then a campfire break. Our campfire break is really part of our campfire experience. We try to just put together little campfires. And sometimes we like to have longer campfire talks. And we'll break up our campfire talks with a campfire break. It's kind of like a commercial break, but with a campfire, using the campfire concept, if that makes sense. I do think it makes sense, delivering a campfire through a phone. Now, we also have you don't want to be this doesn't mean you take your campfire and you use it as kindling. No, it's a little different than that. And we do have an instructional kit, but we're going to be sending that out digitally. And so thank you, Susie from Toledo. I hope we answered your question on what a campfire break is. And it's a very good question, because we're still have an active wing of research that we're trying to refine exactly what we mean when we say campfire break. But it's more or less a commercial. We're not selling a product. We're selling the campfire experience, in the comfort of your own home or the palm of your own hand. Now, that, so there you go. Well, thanks so much for your questions, and we'll continue to go through the mail as it comes in. And in the meantime, welcome to Campfire Park, where the campfire is always crackling and visitors are always welcome. Feel free to tour around our campfires. Go to today's campfire. You can mosey on over, go back into our archives, and we'll talk to you real soon.